Welcome back. Well, let's focus on an exclusive interview then. I had the chance to catch up with Dr. Kumar Nair, who's the Group CEO at IHH Healthcare, and began by asking him about the Fortis acquisition, the long pending open offer that IHH has for Fortis. Listen in to a very interesting conversation.
I think this matter has wound its way through the courts, Supreme Court, right, and now it's with the Delhi High Court. I would say a lot of the issues have been resolved, right? And this is probably the last final matter, the forensic by Delhi High Court, which is ongoing now, all right? I won't comment on it, right, because it is going through the courts at the moment. And we anticipate that once it is resolved, we'll let the court process, go through its, usual route. We will, and then we'll have to decide what to do next. The open offer was at $170. Fortis today is at 600 plus, all right? So we will have to make a decision on how we move forward. There are many ways in which we can increase our stake, as you know, all right? But one thing's for sure, we will be staying in India and we will be staying with Fortis.
So there's no chance of selling out that 31% stake?
Absolutely not, all right? We have got Fortis, we've got Gleneagles, we've got twin engines of growth in India, and given the attractiveness of the Indian private healthcare market, we intend to stay and grow in India.
But what do you think about this long journey of litigations, which is still not over at this point in time? Was there a time where IHH rethought its decision of acquiring Fortis?
Well, to be very honest, I think there were times when we were wondering what we got into, right? But over the years, most of the matters have progressed and resolved, one by one. There were several matters going on at the same time, right? So most of them have been resolved, right? And I think we feel, right? I don't want to judge what's going to happen, but we feel that we are at the tail end of this matter, all right? And we really will have a chance to go ahead, all right? Both with Fortis and with Gleneagles, all right? And increase our presence in India.
So when do you expect to hear back on the open offer?
No, can't predict that for the moment.
Probably by the end of this year
Hopefully,
or next year?
6 months to a year, hopefully. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is a hypothetical situation, but if in case the open offer does get approved,
yes,
like you mentioned, the price was 170 rupees. Today, it's over 550 or 600 odd rupees for Fortis in terms of a price. What will IHH do? Will there be a revision of an open offer price on the higher side? What is the decision?
Okay, given that we would like to increase our stake, I think we would have to revise, right, our offer to the other shareholders. So that's probably what it will take for us to do it.
Okay, so you will probably revise the price higher for the open offer if in case you do get that permission to go through. On the other hand, if in case the open offer does face hurdles again, what will IHH do? Will it go through any other route in order to increase its stake? Because currently you do have minority stake.
Yes. Well, first of all, I must say we are happy with what we have at the moment. As I said, we control Fortis, right? Fortis is improving year by year, operational metrics, financial metrics. There's no restriction to their growth. As you can see, they bought a hospital in Manesar, they disposed of 2 hospitals in the south, right? And they're looking at more acquisitions. They've got a plan to expand by 2,000 beds from their current 5,000 beds, purely by brownfield expansion.
Correct.
Right? So that's their same store growth, essentially. Right? So Fortis can continue to grow, all right? And we hope there will come a day when we have, years down the road, when we have between the 2 entities about 10,000 beds, right? That will bring us maybe into the top 3, right, hospital groups in the country. That's our aspiration, right? So I think Fortis can, even with the stake we have now and the current growth trajectory of Fortis, it will continue to grow, right? But of course, we would like to increase our stake, either increase the open offer, the offer. We can do a creep, all right?
Creeping acquisition, 5% every year.
We can do that, 5% every year. We can do that. Down the road, maybe we can look at folding Gleneagles into Fortis. That's another option. Not envisaged at the moment because both of them are growing very nicely.
Okay.
Right? And we can talk a little bit about Gleneagles as well because that's another growth story.
Okay, so a buyback, creeping acquisition, all of these are probably on the cards if in case the open offer does not go through as planned.
Yeah.
Okay, and possible merger of Gleneagles as well as Fortis could be something that you could consider later.
Yeah.
Okay, how is Gleneagles doing? Because we have the numbers for Fortis, Gleneagles is not listed.
Well, yeah, so Gleneagles is not listed, but you know, Gleneagles is our international brand. So that's the first thing I must say. It's a very well-known brand, started 65 years ago in Singapore. We have Gleneagles in Hong Kong, we have Gleneagles in Malaysia, we have Gleneagles in East Malaysia, even in Brunei. It's a joint venture with the Brunei government. So Gleneagles is a well-known brand. So we decided when we had to, after we bought the promoter's stake last year, exactly 1 year ago, we renamed it from Global to Gleneagles.
Okay.
Right? So firstly, it's a very well-known brand. Secondly, if you again look at the operating and financial metrics of Gleneagles, right? They were, when we went in, EBITDA was, you know, in the single digits. Today it's in the mid-teens, all right? It's improving. We have revamped all the hospitals. If you now walk into the lobby of Gleneagles Hospital, you see the consistent Gleneagles look, right?
Correct.
We have brought in a lot of equipment, CAPEX, right? MRI, CT scans, PET CTs. All these are equipment that you will find in a Gleneagles Hospital today. And they do some really cutting edge work. Gleneagles does one of the highest transplants in the country.
Okay.
And not just liver transplant. In Mumbai here, they do limb transplants, you know,
Okay.
people who have got severe limbs. So very, very high quality work is going on in Gleneagles Hospital as well.
So just on, you know, the branding part of it, because we do understand that there's a litigation with regards to the Fortis brand as well. You had that problem with the diagnostics arm and then you rebranded it to Agilis. But your Fortis brand, what is the current pending litigation? And is there a plan to rebrand the Fortis hospital chain in India?
We would like to keep the Fortis name, right? It's a well-known name, right? But you're right, there is also litigation involving the Fortis. There was also SRL, and that's why we rebranded it to Agilis.
Yes.
So that's also winding its way through the courts, all right? And we will see the outcome, all right? The Fortis name may be up for sale, all right? And if possible, we will acquire it.
And by when would we hear on this particular litigation?
I think that's also within the next 1 year.
Okay. And what about the forensic audit? What kind of audit is going on when it comes to this forensic audit case?
That's with the Delhi High Court at the moment, so just leave it there.
Okay, all right. Well, you know, we spoke about the entire rebranding exercise, and that's what took place with Agilis, your diagnostic arm, and now we have Fortis, which is buying the remaining stake of around, I think, 31% of private equity. What do you feel about that, considering that the private equities did not get any kind of exit since 2012?
Okay, so my personal view on the diagnostic business is that it is integral to a healthcare delivery organization, to large healthcare organizations. And so in all our countries, Singapore, Malaysia, and Turkey, our three big countries, the labs are the biggest, all right? And they support the hospitals. They have considerable outreach as well. And likewise in India, we need to have a big lab for our two entities, all right? So Agilis is what it is, and we like to keep it. And hence, when the IPO did not materialize, we encourage Fortis to take it, right? Agilis, and that's what's happening now. Agilis is probably the second or the third biggest lab in the country, by my reckoning. And we again certainly would like to build it up. And the lab business today is just not consumer business, which is very big in India, not necessarily so in other countries. It's very big in supporting hospitals, right, for the high-end work they do. But there's an element of the laboratory business that is very exciting. And this is what I call the high-tech lab business. Molecular genetics, genomics, precision medicine, and all of these are required to support oncology primarily.
Correct.
And oncology, as you know, if you look at the specialty mix of private hospitals in India, right, used to be heavily weighted towards cardiology and neurology, neurosurgery. Today it's shifting to oncology. And oncology requires accurate diagnosis, all right, before treatment can commence. And that's where molecular genetics, precision medicine comes in. So we would like to bring up our laboratories to that level And for that reason, we have also created IHH laboratories,
Okay.
all right, which is at the group level, all right, and will support the in-country laboratories, all right, to move up the technology ladder.